Spring turned to summer and autumn to winter, and still they haven't stopped through all weather on this miserable trip. The EU has all year been accused of doing too little to make the journeys less dangerous. And while European leaders were full of sympathy when the body of 3-year-old Alan Kurdi was washed up on a beach in Bodrum, their main preoccupation has for months been how to stop refugees coming from Turkey to Greece at all. And suddenly a plan is on the table, the German government as usual in the driving seat, presenting this as an attempt at regaining control.
I think it is not a fair and humanitarian solution to induce people to risk their lives and the lives of their children in crossing the Mediterranean or going on the Balkan route on the trek. But I think we have to offer perspective for legal entry into the European Union, but at the same time improving the situation of refugees in Turkey.
This is the quarter of Berlin known as Little Istanbul. Germany has for years taken in Turkish migrant workers, and the deal means it may have to take in a lot more. As well as a sped-up entry process to the EU, Turkey is also demanding visa-free access to Europe for its 75 million people. Suddenly for Turkey, the refugee crisis is an opportunity. Turkey's been trying to join the European Union since before the Berlin Wall came down in 1989, and yet for all that time, Germany has blocked it on the grounds that Turkey's human rights record isn't good enough, and yet suddenly all the talk of repressions and abuses is vanishing on the wind because the European Union wants to pay Turkey to keep the refugees out. Given how many European politicians describe the refugees as economic migrants, that sounds to some to be a highly hypocritical position for the European Union to take.
The European Union is ready to give up human rights, its own values, why the European Union actually exists. And it is doing this on the back of the most vulnerable people, the refugees.
So more than $3 billion will be found and given to Turkey for more camps and presumably more barbed wire. Perhaps it will constitute a life for the refugees, perhaps not. But clearly it says Europe's new fences haven't worked, so they're pushing them even further towards Syria and Iraq. Lawrence Lee, Al Jazeera in Berlin.